Welcome. Good evening, everyone here at the Exploratorium, Pier 15, San Francisco, California. Yeah. Thank you for being here tonight. We are on Yelamu, which is Ramaytush land and waters. I just want to remind everyone of that and thank our stewards for taking care of this land for so many centuries. How many of you all are teachers? Hey, all right. Welcome, teachers. Tonight at the Exploratorium is back to school night after dark, and we are celebrating for the very first time the return of Iron Science Teacher. Yeah. So how many of you have been to an Iron Science Teacher in the past? Ooh, a few. Okay. So I also want to let everyone know that we are broadcasting live across the internet and the world, so we could have as many as millions and millions of viewers, or we could have 7 people at home watching us tonight. It is, 8:30. Who am I? Nobody. Don't worry about it. My name is Dr. Desiree Whitmore, and I am also known as the Laser Chick. Thank you. I'm going to be your host tonight for the Iron Science Teacher Competition. Now, the Iron Science Teacher Competition is based on a familiar TV show. It's a Japanese television show where all of these chefs get to cook up the coolest thing they can think of using the same secret ingredient. What we are going to do tonight for you is we have 4 fantastically talented teachers from across the different realms of education that the Exploratorium has. And all of these 4 educators are going to cook something up for you using our secret ingredient. Now, I have to be honest, the secret ingredient is not known to you yet, but it is known to them. So just so you know. Okay. Now, I am going to bring out our amazing candidates, and I have to tell you also, at the end of the show, they're all going to show their best science demonstration to you, and then you all get to vote. So you all in the live studio audience get to play a very important role in choosing the winner, who is the actual Iron Science Teacher. And yeah, let's hear it. Okay. And whoever is the winner, we actually, for the first time, have a prize for them. So, hey, normally they are just the Iron Science Teacher, which is great. And they will still take home that amazing title as the Iron Science Teacher of the return of Iron Science Teacher. So our first teacher that I'm going to introduce to us is one of the teachers from our amazing work that we do here in our teaching and learning team. His name is Jacob Aringo. Hey, Jacob! I love it. Jacob, please introduce yourself and where and what you teach.
I'm Jacob Aringo, and I am a teacher at Herbert Hoover Middle School. And I teach STEAM.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Next up, we have Hannah Weiss. Hey, there she is. All right. Hannah, can you please introduce yourself and what you do?
I'm Hannah. I work with our visitor engagement team, making sure that we are following the best and emerging practices in informal science education.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. And next up, number 3, we have Jake Montoya. Sorry. We have Jake Montoya. I'm so sorry. Jake Montoya. And can you please introduce yourself and what you do here?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm Jake Montano. I work in the tinkering studio down the way. Yes. Give it up for tinkering. And my work involves bringing tinkering pedagogies and practices into after-school and community-based spaces. So building and forging our partnerships with folks like the Boys and Girls Clubs.
Thank you, Jake. And finally, last but not least, we have Zeke Kossover. Hey there, sir. What do you do here?
I work in the teaching and learning team, and my main job is to come up with activities that teachers can use in their classroom so they can do more hands-on science.
Amazing. Thank you. So all four of these people, as you see, they teach in different realms at the Exploratorium. Okay. One of them is actually a classroom teacher currently. And then we have these three folks who all teach currently here at the Exploratorium and work with students, with children outside of the museum, and with teachers. So we have a whole giant smorgasbord of science. And we have one more introduction that we have to do, right? The thing that is the most important thing about iron science teacher is the ingredient. So we have a secret ingredient, and we are going to reveal it to you all now. So let's get around this table behind you, teachers. And let me move my water bottle, which is not supposed to be there. Sorry. Okay. Are we ready to figure out what our secret ingredient is? Drum roll, drum roll. Hey, pencils. It is our back to school night for teachers. And so now we are using pencils because every teacher should have pencils in their classroom. So our teachers are going to find some pencils and figure out what they're going to do with them for their amazing activities. We are going to give them 5 minutes to start to tinker and figure out what they are going to do to create an amazing science activity or demonstration for you all. Okay, so let's check it out. What are we doing? Ooh, look at. Okay, we've got, first off over here, look at this. We've got Jacob pulling out a piece of paper. First of all, Jacob has some really cool shoes on. He's kind of a very interesting situation. Those are his actual feet. And okay, Jacob has some kind of paper with tape. Now, Jacob is actually a huge fan of the Backstreet Boys, as well as other boy bands. And he has seen 2 boy bands this year, and is going to see the Backstreet Boys for a second time this year in December. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like he's using some foil paper. It looks like there is some pencil situation. So, oh, he's got some pencils that are connected to wires. Oh, this is very interesting. I don't know. Okay. I like it. I like it. Also, Jacob has been teaching with us for how many years?
Gosh.
A lot.
2000. Oh, wait.
Since 2000. He's been teaching here for 2,000 years. Thank you. Yeah. Never mind. We're not going to say because, he looks really good. Don't lie. So Jacob has been teaching here for decades, apparently, and with us. And so he actually helps us to coach and mentor younger teachers. So first-year teachers, second-year teachers, and really helps them to introduce STEAM into their classrooms. Okay, so let's move on to our second contestant over here and see what they're doing. Ooh, we got Zeke over here. Zeke is playing with some tape and putting some tape on some pencils. Okay, he has actually a lot of pencils and tape and some, what is that? But darts? Zeke is looking a little dangerous over here. Okay, Zeke's got some darts. Okay, and pencils, and we have some sharpened pencils and some unsharpened pencils. Okay, and Zeke has some, actually, I think all of our science teachers have goggles, which is very appreciative. I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you for safety. Okay, I love it. Now, Zeke has been here for several years at the Exploratorium, and he is actually well known because he once, when he was a new teacher in the classroom, he blew up his driveway. And you laugh, but it's true. And he has recorded this for the podcast Story Collider. Zeke told the story about how he blew up his driveway right here on this stage, and you can find it online listening to the Story Collider website. Now we're going to move over to our next person over here. We have Jake. What is Jake doing? Jake is making his earrings maybe on a piece of paper. So that's very interesting. Oh, Jake can draw. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're a tinkerer or something. Okay. So Jake is drawing some beautiful, beautiful lightning bolts. Now, Jake is actually also a drag queen. And yes, his drag name is actually Imelda Glucose. And Imelda is part of the Rice Rockettes, which is the longest running drag house that is all Asian in the entire world. Yes. Okay, I see it. And you might notice that their outfit is very matchy. And finally, we have over here our last candidate, Hannah Weiss. Now, Hannah Weiss is in our visitor experience department, and Hannah has some pencils with some alligator clips and a battery. Holy moly. Oh, and a rubber band. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Oh, and a petri dish. Okay, I like this. Some gloves, also very safe. Looks like there's some chemicals over there. Now, Hannah has lived in all of the states in the United States that start with the letter C. Yeah. I got all excited too. I was like, whoa, 50 states? No. And those of you who can figure out what those states are, how many there are, good for you. So far, you only have 3? Okay, we'll see if there's more. Also, there's a hint, the Carolinas don't count because those start with North and South. That would be misleading. Okay, we are good. Now, the contestants have about 1 more minute to finish up their testing. And so we are going to play them out. It's played out. I'm not good at puns. Looking. Wow, that was fast, right? Oh, it's still going. I want to give a shout out. Yes, that was amazing. And I want to give a shout out to our sound artist, Wayne Grimm, who made that amazing music. Now, we are going to start the competition. Are we ready? Okay, so competitors, we are going to start with our first competitor, who's going to be Jacob Aringo. Take the stage, sir.
Close your eyes. I'm going to do some spoken word first. A student takes out a pencil. In their moments of anguish and boredom, they curiously probe the sharpened end of their pencil into the USB port. Seconds later, you smell the sweet odor of burnt metal and plastic. And then after that, you hear the joyous sirens of the fire alarm. The audacity of these children. The lesson is not in the behavior of our children, but it's within the pencil. Now, knowing that the pencil is capable of short-circuiting a computer or one's Google Chromebook, is it capable of conducting electricity? And that's what we're going to test out. What I have here is a voltometer, okay? And this is capable of detecting whether or not there is an electrical currents going through a circuit. And what I have here is a 9-volt battery. It's sort of used, I just found it around the classroom. And so if I connect the 9-volt battery to the voltometer, we see, ooh, it's like going on, it's doing some weird stuff right now. But right now, there's a current going through this messy circuit. Awesome. Okay. Now, what happens if I place a pencil within the circuit? I'll disconnect one of these black wires, place the lead of the pencil there, and then attach to see if I have an extra thing right here, and attach the other end. And I hope the lead does not break. Please don't break. We see that there is a voltage. Pretty cool. Okay. This is a very powerful discovery because this has many applications, especially in computer hardware. What I have here is what we call a makey-makey. Yeah, makey-makeys are great. Okay. You see that for the makey-makey, it looks like a game controller. And that's what it is. It's a controller that talks to the computer so that the computer is able to do something that I program it to do. Okay, we have two parts. We have a click, space, up, down, left, right, and we have this area where it says Earth, which is a pathway for kind of electrons to go through the makey-makey. So I'm going to place it on the click first, and let me see if I get the volume up so that you hear what happens to the computer. Okay, if I touch these two alligator clips together. Can you hear that? No, you can't. 700. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, now if I place the pencil within the circuit, will it do the same thing? I didn't know it was going to do that. I didn't tell it to do that. Let's do it one more time. Self-destructing sequence with the 3, 2, 1. We have a team of AI going on the Exploratorium. This AI has a little personality. All right, so we just demonstrated that pencil is capable of conducting electricity. Now, I want to take this a step further. And I want to know if my human body is capable of conducting electricity. So, I'm going to take off my lab coat. Okay, I know. What you see are electrodes right here on my skin. Okay, I heard, oh my God. Sorry, I did this before. My kids got freaked out about it. And what I have here is a TENS unit. How many of you heard of a TENS unit before? Yeah, I use it because I get carpal tunnel a lot. And what this is capable of doing is transfer an electrical currents through the muscles in between these two pads. And when I do connect it, let me take that one off first. Place that one on. And where's the other one? There you go. You see something a little freaky, like a zombie apocalypse or something. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna turn that one on and let's see. So that you see how it looks like right there. And so I'm on the A channel and I'm gonna increase the voltage. And right now I'm controlling my hand because my brain is telling the muscles here to flex. So I'm gonna relax it. I'm gonna increase the voltage. Up about 5. Oof. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing to the bicep because it feels like a Charlie horse right now. Okay? And so, I was imagining this type of thing going on and a music video and, that type of dance. Yeah. Okay. Ouch, this is hurting. All right. So we're capable of conducting electricity, and you see with the involuntary movement of my arm. Okay. Okay. Knowing that we are capable of conducting electricity, and that a pencil is capable of conducting electricity, I created a prototype and used those two design principles to create a musical instrument here. What? Yeah. Okay. So it's the same exact thing, and it's confusing. There's a lot of chords, but I want to show that there is a pencil connected right here. Okay. So if you follow the black chord is going to go up to the makey up here. Okay. And I have to make sure I connect it first before I make this work. And then I have the grounding, which I am going to hold on to because without that, I cannot complete the circuit, this thing here. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to that. And I'm going to take off my slippers. So, there you go. I know, bare feet. No pedicure yet, sorry. All right, but before I get started, let me get my grounding first. Let me just test out. Can you all hear that from the back? Because it feels so light. Okay, hold on. Okay, but I have a letter that I wrote to a group of special people at this organization. And this is for people who work for the Leadership Institute and the Teacher Institute. And so what I wrote down was, every time I'm here, I'm constantly reminded of the great science teaching and reminded of my mission and vision of what great science teaching looks like. Thank you for creating a space that feels fun, safe, warm, every summer that allows us to grow as educators, as leaders, as human beings who love our children, as fellow co-conspirators to liberation in our classroom and in society. Our work is not done yet, but the work that you have done, you have left a crater-like imprint in our classroom. And for that, the grand finale for the Teaching Institute. Okay, there you go. Okay. I had the time of my life, though I never felt this way before. I swear, stop, this much as true. Oh gosh, yeah, this got disconnected. True, there you go. And I owe it all to you, and to you.
Right, let's thank Jacob Aringo.
Oh.
That was fantastic. And it was very straight and to the point. And I love the singing and dancing. And I really thought you were going to sing a Backstreet Boys song. So I was ready for that. Thank you so much. Let's thank Jacob one more time. Yes, thank you. All right, next up, our second contestant, which is actually the good kind of number 2. This is going to be Hannah Weiss. Come on out. Woohoo!
Hey, friends. So when I was really thinking about what I wanted to do tonight, one thing that really stuck out for me with my back to school is that it was haunted by Lisa Frank. Right? You could not go anywhere in the 90s, back to school shopping, without a Technicolor nightmare, daymare, dream, all over, binders, backpacks, folders, all covered in these really cutesy animals or aliens. Oh my gosh, and the stickers. There were stickers everywhere. So in honor of like that back to school, I want to summon Lisa Frank tonight. So squishing back in, not made for hips, I am going to make a little bit of a secret potion. So I'm going to use some water that I dumped out before. I'm going to use some Epsom salt, because if you remember the heyday of Lisa Frank, Epsom salt is definitely what you look forward to at the end of the day. Yeah. Sorry if you don't know what I'm talking about. Lisa Frank was brightly colored school supplies that every girl and many other people desperately wanted. So I have some water. I'm going to add some Epsom salt. And then I'm going to add a secret ingredient, some chemical X, because Powerpuff Girls also haunted my entire childhood. And then, since Jacob so kindly showed us that pencils conduct electricity, I'm going to conduct some electricity through some chemicals, or rather through some pencils, to see what happens. And my hope is, with this bright green concoction, my Epsom salts, and some water and some electricity, we can bring Lisa Frank here tonight. So let's see and notice what we see happening, hopefully. Let's see. Is anyone seeing some like light bubbling happening? Oh my goodness. What even? Whoa. All right. So I've got like pink and yellow, bright green, some purple. Right. Lisa Frank in the house. Wait, okay, but what's happening here, right? How did I get Lisa Frank to come into my little container here with just some electricity, some water? This is not going to stay for me, really, my friend? Balance, please. With just some electricity, running through some pencils, water, chemical X, actually indicator solution, and Epsom salts. So what I'm doing here is I am splitting water apart using electricity. And that can be a little tricky to kind of figure out what's going on, right? Because I've got like electricity going on here. I've got like acid and base stuff happening because an indicator, my chemical X, what it does is it tells you when something is really basic or really acidic. Basic stuff is stuff that's caustic, like lye. Acidic stuff is stuff that we usually think tastes sour, like lemon juice. So should we figure out what's actually happening with the water? Yeah. All right, my friends, to do that, I need some help from the studio audience. I know. I'm going to ask 6 people from the front to come up and help me out. You, up. I need one more. All right, my friends.
It's not going to be dirty.
Yeah. All right, can you put on this vest for me? I work with the visitor engagement team. We have vests. Can you put on this vest for me? My friends, can you put on these vests for me? I swear I counted 6. Can you put on these vests? Ooh, Max, I may have handed you the tiniest one. Purposefully. And then turn around so everyone can see how pretty you are. Look how pretty they are. Okay, here's the other fun thing. These are 2 water molecules. I have an oxygen, and I have 2 hydrogens. And I have an oxygen, and I have 2 hydrogens. All right, so if we think back to my like Lisa Frank summoning potion, I have 2 ends where different colors are happening. At one end, what's happening is my 2 water molecules are kind of getting together, move closer together, pretend you like each other. And then my oxygens are like, wait, much cooler to hang out. Come step in front. And I have all of these hydrogen ions left behind. Secret story, acids You measure on a scale called pH. Hydrogen ions. This is super acidic. All right, we're gonna bring our oxygen molecule back into our water. Here's the other thing that happens though. At the other end, 2 of my hydrogens go forward. Decide to hang out together. And then I have these OH ions just kind of hanging out. Basic. Basic. Sorry, you're basic. I know, I'm like missing decades here. Anyway, we have one end where I'm making these hydroxide ions, making myself a basic solution, and one end, come sit back. Oxygen, step forward. Zena, that's you. Where I have these hydrogen ions hanging out, acidic. And by putting all of that together, we brought Lisa Frank here today. My friends, if you could put the vest back on the stage, and we can check this out again. We brought some Lisa Frank realness to life. All right, friends, ready for one last magic trick? We'll see if this one works. I should be able to mix this back together. What do you think will happen when I mix this back together? All right, I heard someone say it's gonna be green. What else do we think? Okay, purple, I heard purple. Unicorn, love it. Should we try it? Let's try it and see what happens. Back to green.
All right, everybody, thank number 2, Hannah Wise. Thank you so much for teaching us about acids and bases with these beautiful vests. Now, next up, we have, first of all, I tried it. I keep dropping pencils out of my hair because I'm a scientist and I have a lot of pencils in my hair. So next up, we have the amazing Jake. Woo-hoo!
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Oh, great. Are y'all having the time of your lives? Very good. Very good. I'm very happy to hear that. We've learned a lot tonight about what pencils can do, right? And specifically the thing that's inside of pencils, which is graphite. So we've seen how graphite can be used to make musical instruments, to make friendships and break bonds through electrolysis. What if I told you that we can also use graphite to make light? We're going to cook up some light. Before I get into everything, I want to just talk about the personal love that I have for pencils. I think pencils are such a wonderful tool for an educator, for an artist, for anybody who just moves through the world and needs to record things, doodle and all of that. Are all of you familiar with the phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword? I think that can extend to pencils as well. And I think one of the beauties of of pencils is that they allow us to illuminate truth and perspective and beauty, things that we absolutely need in the world today. And so we're going to make some light. I've got a light bulb here. And before we get into making some light, let's talk a little bit about the basics of a circuit. I think both Hannah and Jacob both talked a little bit about what it is to make a circuit. But if I've got a thing that needs power, I also need the thing that gives us power. And generally speaking, you need something that will connect those two things, a wire. We are going to make light without the benefit of a bulb. Oh, yes. Stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. So before I do anything else, actually, let me get into my serious glasses. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some 9-volt batteries. Those have also been showing up a lot tonight, haven't they? So I'm going to set these up in series. And I'm going to tape them together. And while I do this, let me also share why graphite is conductive. So graphite is really composed, is carbon in a crystalline form. And each of those carbon atoms that makes up graphite has 4 valent electrons, which is to say 4 electrons that exist in its outer shell. And 3 of those are very tightly bound. But there's a 4th one, and that 4th one moves freely and is available to help move electricity along. So we're going to take advantage of that fact. We're also going to take advantage of the crystalline structure, and we'll get to that in a moment. So I've got my batteries, and I've got some pencil lead right here. And we got rid of the bulb, but I do need some wire, because unfortunately, I am not one of Charles Xavier's mutants, and I cannot bend matter to connect to the ends of this. So we're going to take advantage of some tools we got, and I'm going to get our lead. This is just 0.5 millimeter lead that you can get at any office supply store, or if you work here, upstairs. And I'm going to hang it right there so you can all hopefully see. And we're going to hook it up to the leads here. Everybody take a deep anticipatory breath. Not quite yet. I think we might have these leads a little bit too far apart. Let's bring them a little bit closer together. See if that brings us to some light. No, not quite there. Nope, a little bit closer. Nope. I wonder what's going on. Anybody have a guess? No? That's perfectly fine. Maybe something to do with the oxygen. Sure. I imagine some part of it. So like I said, graphite exists as a crystalline structure. Zoomed out a little bit more, it looks like sheets. And so as electricity passes through it, it's facing a little bit of resistance. It's not, even though electricity can pass through it, it may not be passing through so easily. So actually, before I forget, let me make sure to tape this together because we're going to play around with this some more. I suspect that structure is fighting against us. Something else that's true is the batteries have an internal structure that also provides a little bit of resistance. It's for safety, but in our case, we're trying to say, throw safety to the wind a little bit. So let's try something different. I am going to put this away for right now. And I've got this handy dandy machine right over here called a DC power supply. And we're going to bring up the power. But it's not just power we want, the voltage. So I have 4 9-volt batteries here. 9 times 4 is? Nice. Math is great. Math is important and essential. Thank you. 36 volts. 36 volts should be enough. But like I said, that resistance might be fighting us a little bit. So we need to help the flow of electricity. Voltage and amperage. Amperage is what is going to allow the electricity, the current to flow. And so this allows us to change those conditions just a bit in all of the really important ways that we need it to. So we're plugged in, we've got power on, and I've got these 2 knobs and I've got this indicator. So not only do I like this because, in courtesy of Zeke, actually, I'll say, this not only allows us to see what's going on, you could see these numbers, all of them at 0, which is very good right now since that's what I was intending. And the top number will be the voltage. That's also represented in that 9-volt battery. The second one is our amperage. So that's what we want to drive on up. We're going to open the flow, let the dam run free. And so before I do anything else, I'm going to connect our 5 millimeter lead. And so the downside with 5 millimeter lead is it's fragile. Well, fortunately, I have so much more. Thank you, office supply store. And I'm so nervous, you guys, that I'm breaking this lead, but let's see if I can get it together to get these leads on here. Ha-ha! Oh, no. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. And I will hold on to it down lower. Ha-ha! Okay, so we've got our lead and our 2 leads. Let's see if we can drive up. We've got the amperage flowing. Gates are open. We're gonna go a little bit slow and we're gonna bring it all the way up. Let's get in close here. I think you're gonna wanna see this. Ah, we're already starting to see. So we're not even at 36 volts, but we've already got some light and we've also got some smoke. Should we bring this up and see where we can really take this? Okay, y'all. Whoa. So if you are in the middle of a blackout and you have access to power and some and some lead, you too can make some light. And it doesn't end there. We're gonna try to take these ends, these rods, the tips of the lead to see if we can create. Not quite there. Let's drive this up a little bit more and see if we can get. I'm gonna go to the other side. Let's see. So what we've created is an arc lamp. So as the electricity is passing through the graphite, it's actually lighting up through incandescence. Because graphite not only has the conductive property, it also has extreme thermal capabilities, which allows it to get to extreme heat levels. That heat is what is emitting visible light. And so the arc lamp is actually ionizing the particles in between those tips to create that light as well, so we can keep the light going. Pretty cool, right? So I'm gonna turn this off. I've got one more thing to show you. So you saw earlier that I was doodling. We're gonna make a circuit in a different format. So like I said, graphite exists in a crystalline structure, looks like sheets. That is a property that is so useful. Oh, by the way, that's what that arc lamp looks like. Those sheets of graphene, are so useful because if this is an image of graphite from a scanning electron microscope. So this is it really, really close up. And what happens when you draw on a piece of paper is those sheets are not only breaking off and landing on the paper, they're literally embedding themselves into the fibers of that paper, which for us makes for kind of an embedded wire. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that drawing that I made earlier. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna take this drawing that I spent lots of time working on, and I'm gonna show you how it works with this other drawing that I made in honor of the return of iron science, and to show you that cursive still matters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back right over here, and I'm gonna take these 9-volt batteries. This might be too much power, but we'll see. Oh, that's not it. And we're going to take that very same setup that did not work for us before. And what I'm going to do is you could see here that the iron and the science are 2 separate pieces of writing. And I'm going to hook them up here to these trails of graphite embedded into this paper. And this might be a little bit tough because the source of light will be these gumdrop LED bulbs. So we know that the graphite has a little bit of resistance. It also has quite a bit more resistance because it's embedded in the paper. That variable resistance from distributing all that graphite across here might be working against us. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just test around to see, can I find a place where all of this power can make its way into the bulb, and we might get some light. But let's make sure also that the polarity is a thing. Are we getting anything? Are we getting anything? New bulb. Curious and curious. Well, find me later and we'll see if this works. Thank you, everybody.
Right. Let's give it up for Jay Montano. Thank you so much. That was beautiful and amazing. And now for our final contestant of the night. First of all, how are we feeling right now? Okay, are we ready for one more contestant to learn about some pencils? Okay, let's bring out Zeke Kossover.
When I first started teaching, it was in Houston, Texas. And one day I got called to the principal's office. And you know what? It's not any better when you're a teacher. I got called to the principal's office and they said, your students were making trouble in the hallways. And the way they were doing it is they were making blowguns and shooting pencils at other kids. And I thought to myself, oops. But then the principal stopped and looked at me and said, you teach physics, right? And I said, I do. They were crappy blowguns. I expect better of your students. And I have remembered that all these years later, that concern that the very least they could have done was make good blowguns. And now I feel like I must teach you all so that you will know. And it really is kind of amazing that they didn't know how, because blowpipes, as they're more commonly called now, have been invented at least 7 times independently around the world. In the Americas, both the Cherokee and Choctaw Native Americans used blowpipes. They made them out of cane, a kind of sugar cane that grows very long. They made the darts out of thistles or out of clay. They were very common. And let me show you a little bit about how the science of it, that, like I said, was invented all over the world. So first, you obviously need a pipe. They didn't use PVC. But I'm going to be using PVC. And you can take a pencil. Oh, I need a pencil. Let's see here. I like this one. And you can put that into a pipe. And then you can put it into your mouth and you can blow on that pipe. And you'll figure out where the name came from. And then you can shoot the pencil outwards. It's very important to take the deep breath before you put the pipe up to your lips. This is a mistake that is usually made only once. Now, the problem here, as you probably could tell right away, is that this pencil is a little too small for the pipe. I'd show it to you, but we'd get a community guideline strike on YouTube. But you can see that this pencil is somewhat smaller than the pipe. And so we need to make the pencil wider so that it'll fit more snugly into the pipe. And so what I've just done is I've just wrapped some tape around it. You might be saying to yourself, maybe I should have just used one of those Husky pencils. You'll see in a moment why I haven't chosen to do that, but we can take this one, put it in here, and then I can blow on it. That's much better. But I still feel unsatisfied. We can do better than that. The reason why that works, of course, is that when you blow the air, you apply a force to the pencil. But if it can escape around the pencil, then only a little force is applied to the pencil. By wrapping the tape around the pencil, I've made more force be able to go onto the pencil itself. But what are the factors that make the pencil move out? Well, it's how much force is applied, and I'm using all my lung capacity for it. So that's the force. But the next thing is that the mass of the pencil matters. The heavier the pencil is, the more mass it is, the less change in speed it will have. So I want as light a pencil as possible. So I could use a husky pencil, but it's a big, heavy pencil. Wrapping tape around a smaller pencil is a better bet. And so that's what I've done. But there's one other factor, and that's the amount of time that the force gets applied. We want to have as much time for that force to be applied to the pencil. So if I pick a longer tube, like this one, then the force of my breath will be applied to the pencil for a longer period of time, and that will increase its change in velocity. So same pencil with tape. I'm going to blow it, and are you ready? Yep. Deep breath. So we would sometimes all put on our safety glasses, and we might have blow pipe wars. These are the ones I gave to the students I didn't like. These are the ones I gave to the students that I did like. But the one I saved for myself is this pipe. You can make your own length joke. I don't feel like I need to do that right at this second. And you saw that that small pipe already shot the pencil as far as I could do across the stage. I don't have safety glasses for everyone, so I can't just shoot it at the back of the room. So I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to interrupt the distance, but I'm going to make myself a different target. And let's get a quiver of pencils. Let's get this just right here. And let's see what we can do. So you want a pencil that is, for this purpose, I want it to be sharp. So I've sharpened the pencil. And I've got the tape around it, of course. And I've got the longest tube I can manage. Are you all ready? Maybe I shouldn't do it. I did come onto this stage and choose violence. All right. Now, it turns out if you're not the sort of person who likes wrapping tape around your pencils, and I can't imagine why you wouldn't, they make these little Nerf darts, which are perfectly sized. If you just try to shoot a Nerf dart, though, it doesn't have very much mass. It just bounces off of things. And that's good for a Nerf dart. That is not good for me. Ready? Now, you can be extremely precise with these. Cherokee Indian boys and girls were often given tubes up to 10 feet long, ones that were twice as long as they were tall, and they were able to hit small game. It's not an anti-personnel weapon, but it can get you a rabbit or a squirrel if you're lucky. Mostly, though, it was designed to do the same reason I did it with my students, is that it kept them out of trouble before iPods had been invented. Shall we try this one more time? Perhaps you're wondering, what if I use one of these newfangled mechanical pencils? What would that be like? This one is only stuck about half the time. Let's see how lucky I am. Do you feel lucky? All right, let's give this a go. All right, that felt disappointing. We need to end on a big note, so one more try. Thank you all very much.
All right. Thank you to Zeke Kossover. Okay, so now we have learned from four different educators. We learned 4 different kinds of science. Let's bring out all of our educators now. Thank you. Where did they go? They all disappeared. There they are. Okay, and now here is the part where you all, this live studio audience, get to play the most important parts of the entire competition. You get to choose the winner. Now, those of you who are at home watching online, please write in the comments who you thought was the best teacher, just so they can know that you were watching. And even though you can't vote here, sorry. But when they get home later and they can watch it, because they will watch it, because that's what teachers do. We like to improve all of the time. We have in here, in our live studio audience, we have a microphone set up on the side of the stage that is actually listening to all of you. And so we are going to measure by applause how well each of these folks did. So let's test it out. Let's have an applause. Okay. I don't know. We might have to turn down the sensitivity. Is it possible? Who knows? Okay, so first off, we are going, who started? It was Jacob who started. So those of you who vote for Jacob with his makey, teaching us about how pencils can conduct electricity to actually make music. And he wrote us and sang us a song. It was so lovely. So those of you who vote for Jacob. Okay, all right. Thank you, Jacob. All right, and then over here at number 2, those of you who vote for Hannah, who actually made Lisa Frank for us and showed us how acids and bases are formed in water and how you can actually measure it using Chemical X, because the Powerpuff Girls are amazing. Let's vote for Hannah White. Okay. Number 3, for those of you who are so in love with this beautiful iron sight. I love this. And the cursive. The cursive is so important. And us understanding that you can actually make light out of pencil lead. Holy moly. Without a light bulb. Let's vote for Jake Montana. Ooh, all right. Oh my gosh. This is a really close one, you guys. I don't know. And finally, if you are into blow pipes, and understanding how you can use friction to benefit you to actually shoot pencils across the stage. Let's give it up for Zeke Kossover. Okay, well, this is iron science history right here. Zeke Kossover, I do believe, has won Iron Science Teacher! Woo! Congratulations, Zeke, and congratulations to all of our contestants. I also would like to present Zeke with a gift from the Exploratorium store. Here you go. This is your gift for being the Iron Science Teacher of 2025. Awesome. Thank you all so much. Yeah! Woo! Thank you all for being here and spending your night with us. I know it's late and it's a school night. Y'all got to go to school tomorrow. But thank you for being here. Thank you for appreciating teachers as much as we do. We love teachers and all that you do. You are the heroes that our country deserves. So thank you all. Have a lovely night. Enjoy the rest of your time in the museum. You still have 25 minutes to go and wreck stuff. What did you say, Cece? We love you. Have a great night.